What if reality didn't shatter, but glitched just long enough to be seen?
That is so creepy.
Life freezes. Time loops. The world behaves in ways it shouldn't.
Why is the street cracking open like this?
These moments weren't accidents. They were caught before reality corrected itself.
Yo, what the is this?
A man was walking along the beach when he noticed a strange light moving across the waves. When he zoomed in, he realized it wasn't a reflection. It was a glowing orb, sliding across the surface of the water without sinking, as if gravity didn't exist for it. For a split second, the orb vanished, then reappeared in the same place, moving at the exact same speed as it had never left. He kept filming in silence, trying to understand what he was seeing. Many believe it was alien technology, connected to secret underwater bases. Maybe the ocean is hiding more than waves. And that night, it almost showed its truth. Silent helicopter. A worker looking out at the skyline captured a moment that seemed to defy the laws of aviation. High above the harbor, a helicopter glided forward at a steady pace, but something was off. Zooming in, he noticed the main rotors weren't moving at all. The massive machine cruised as if pulled by an invisible string or sliding on a perfectly smooth track. At first, it could look like a camera glitch, where shutter speed matches the rotor blades. Yet to the worker's eyes, it was as if the physics engine of the sky had paused. Or this could be a secret test of a silent propulsion system that doesn't rely on spinning blades. Road rift.
This can't be good. Why is the street cracking open like this?
A man walking down a quiet road started recording what looked like a simple fire burning beneath the asphalt. The terrifying part was that the flames seemed to stretch under the road, visible through cracks, with thick smoke rising into the air. The footage closely matched earlier reports of the mysterious Memphis, Tennessee portal, appearing almost exactly the same way. Paranormal researchers note that the area sits atop hidden energy points, and the fire appeared to trigger a temporary gateway. Whether a scientific anomaly or a demonic rift, the Memphis Road Rift remains one of the most documented and unsettling cases of a portal appearing. False ceiling. A worker inside an office decided to casually record the room, and what he captured didn't make sense. Through the glass door, the ceiling looked normal. Bright lights, a full roof panel, everything in place. But the moment he walked forward and crossed the glass, the truth hit. The same ceiling was now completely dark. No lights, no panels, just an empty, hollow space above him. It was as if the room had shown him two different realities, one through the glass and one in real life. And after seeing that clip, many people felt the same thought creeping in. Some places don't always show you what's really there. Frozen walker. A man was walking down the street when he noticed a strange scene. Another man ahead of him was stuck in the middle of his step, frozen, like time had stopped only for him. At first, it looked like a prank, but the longer he watched, the more unreal it felt. The man's face stayed locked, his eyes never blinked, and not a single muscle moved. The video ended there, and the internet went wild with theories. Many believed it was an advanced human-like robot, the kind Elon Musk talks about, that had suddenly shut down. Others said it was a prank, but with zero movement, it felt more like a system failure than a joke. Witch light. A former employee from a hotel shared a video that still confuses everyone who's seen it. The security camera, placed in a quiet rural area, captured a glowing fireball drifting around. It clearly wasn't a reflection. It moved on its own, slow and silent. Soon, viewers began connecting it to old folklore, saying witches are believed to travel as floating balls of fire at night, and this looked exactly like one of them. It disappeared as suddenly as it appeared, leaving only the question, what really passed through that night? Invisibility cloak. Do you love Harry Potter's invisible coat? Well, now you can actually own one too. A man in China went out on camera holding a simple, transparent sheet. He held it up in front of his body and boom! He vanished instantly. When he moved the sheet away, he was standing right back where he started. He did it again, and once more he went completely off the grid. It wasn't a magic trick or a movie special effect from a fantasy world. Chinese scientists have finally invented a real quantum invisibility cloak. This technology uses special light-bending physics to hide anything behind the fabric. Well, magic is real, but it's being made in a lab instead of a castle. Floating fish. A man was filming his beautiful fish tank when a heavy metal chain slipped and dropped into the water. In the next second, the entire water level sank away like it had been pulled straight out from the bottom. But the impossible part came after that. The fish did not fall shockingly. They stayed floating in midair, moving their fins calmly, as if the water was still around them. This looked like a gravitational anchor glitch, where the fish remained locked to the same position even after the water vanished. Another possibility is a texture render error, where the liquid disappeared, but its rules stayed active. It felt like the fish never needed water, only the simulation to keep running. Forest fireball. A Blink camera in Yelm, Washington captured something strange on the night of December 9th. From the edge of the woods, a glowing fireball quietly appeared, hovering for a moment before slipping straight back into the trees like it was never there. The homeowners only discovered it after getting repeated motion alerts and deciding to review the footage. In another clip, the camera angle showed the area again, helping them confirm there was nothing around that could explain it. Whatever that light was, it moved with purpose, almost like it knew exactly where it came from, and exactly where it needed to return. Crow takeover.
Yo, what the is this? Oh my god.
Outside a Walmart parking lot, shoppers got an unexpected shock. Thousands of crows had taken over the entire area. Cars were parked, but the birds didn't care. They crowded every corner, hopping from roof to pavement, filling the air with wings and caws. People could barely walk without a flock scattering in every direction. Some thought it was a seasonal migration, while locals thought it might be a curse from divine. Whatever the reason, the sheer number and boldness of these crows made the lot feel like it belonged to them, and everyone else was just visiting. Pigeon loop. A man visiting his late wife's grave for prayers expected peace, but instead, he found a scene of dark mystery. On a nearby headstone, a group of pigeons was caught in a perfect, endless marching circle. They didn't fly away or search for food. They just walked in a tight, mechanical loop over the cold stone. Later, locals revealed that the grave belonged to a woman known for practicing ancient witchcraft. The birds weren't just confused. They were trapped in a ritual that had survived long after the lady was gone. It was a pigeon time loop, a spell cast so deeply into the earth that it forced the living to repeat the same second forever. Hidden city. A resident captured a strange sight hanging quietly above a row of city apartments. High in the clouds, a massive dark shape appeared, wide, flat, and solid, like the outline of a giant roof suspended in the air. It didn't drift like a cloud. It didn't move with the wind. It simply stayed there. For a few eerie seconds, it looked as if an entire skyline was hidden inside the mist, a shadow of a city that wasn't ours. Later, some began to believe it wasn't just a shadow at all, but a doorway, a brief opening into another place. And the disturbing thought that remains is this: if it showed itself once, it may not be done yet. Cloud orb. You know how we only have one sun, right? Well, a beachgoer thought he was staring at two of them. One was high in the sky and small, and beneath it, the normal glowing sun appeared inside the clouds.
You can see there's obviously a really very clear planet that is right north of the sun.
Curious, he zoomed in with his camera, and that's when things got strange. It wasn't the sun at all. The object looked like an orange orb, steady and perfectly still, hiding inside the clouds. People watching started to panic, thinking it was the end of the world, but nature wasn't glitching. At least, not this time. Some UFO researchers believe it might have been an alien probe, quietly using the clouds as cover while scanning the area, waiting for whatever comes next. Silent plane. A plane was hanging in the sky, completely still, and the driver who filmed it couldn't believe what he was seeing. It didn't move an inch. No tilt, no engine sound, nothing, as if it had been placed there on purpose. At first, he thought it was just another Matrix glitch, but then strange news began to spread. People in the town were quietly going missing. Soon, the truth felt darker. That plane wasn't a plane at all. It was a UFO disguising itself while carrying out silent abductions. Maybe the aliens are operating openly now, and this town was chosen as their target. Time freeze. What if you stepped out and realized the flow of time had completely broken? That's exactly what happened to a woman looking out from her balcony. She noticed what looked like a statue standing in the parking lot. Curious, she zoomed in with her camera and freaked out. It wasn't a statue, it was a real woman holding shopping bags, completely frozen in place, while cars moved around her and the world carried on.
Wait, she's not moving at all.
That's what I'm saying. What is going on?
She didn't blink, shift, or move a single muscle for several minutes. Some call this a time loop freeze. Maybe certain spots in the world can pause you at any second. You never know when it could happen to you. Square clouds. Last year in Poland, a resident recorded a sight that shouldn't exist in nature. Hanging above his house was a perfect square formed in the clouds. Sharp corners, straight edges, and a solid shape that refused to fade. Clouds don't build walls, and they don't freeze in place like a structure. What made it even stranger was the history of UFO sightings reported in that same region. Soon, many began to believe this wasn't weather at all, but an active entry point, a doorway built with purpose, waiting to be used. Frozen plane. While flying over the city, a plane passenger spotted a bizarre sight. Another airplane seemed to be completely stuck in midair, as if time had paused. It didn't move forward, climb, or descend, just stayed frozen in place. The passenger could hardly believe what he was seeing, describing it as a glitch in the Matrix. Was it a technical malfunction, or something far stranger at play in the skies that day? Floating tissue. A person went to get his favorite coffee at Starbucks, never expecting the man next to him to shock the entire cafe. The man was holding a simple tissue paper, but suddenly, it lifted into the air. Even more startling, it began to move as if guided by his finger, floating at will. Nobody could understand how it happened. Was it a clever trick, or was this man showing real superhuman powers? Let me know in the comments. Sky mothership.
That is so creepy. Is that like a UFO?
Like having fireworks or some kind of...
New York is famous for glowing towers, busy streets, and a sky that never really goes dark. But one homeowner noticed something different outside his window. Through the clouds, a strange flash of lights appeared. At first, he ignored it, thinking there might be a concert nearby. But the shape wasn't normal. The bottom had a sharp outline, looking exactly like a massive alien mothership hiding in the sky. Slowly, the clouds revealed the dark body of a giant structure, almost as if it was camouflaged and watching the city from above. Authorities brushed it off as a simple skylight effect. What do you think? Frozen cats. What if the world around you suddenly stopped? A man was taking a quiet walk when he noticed a cat in the middle of the road, completely still. At first, he thought it was just a pause in its movement, but then he realized it wasn't blinking or reacting at all. It was frozen, as if time itself had stopped for that single creature. Before he could process it, its tail moved, and another cat appeared. It walked straight to the same spot, paused in the same unnatural way, and stayed frozen. There was no camera trick, just a street where life had paused for these furry friends. It looked as if someone had forgotten to press the play button for them. Moments like this make it seem as if the world slipped into a brief time loop. Mirror Men. This one was a 1 in a million sighting ever recorded on a bus ride. A man noticed an old man sitting next to him. All good, right? But then he looked to the other side, and there the same man was sitting again. 2 men with the same cap, same coat, same face, even the same way of sitting. Every detail, from the texture of the jacket to the angle of their heads, matched perfectly, like a copy and paste error in real life. The 2 mirror men sat in silence, never looking at each other. It didn't feel like a coincidence or twins. It was a moment where the simulation seemed to fail, showing us that the people we see every day might just be programmed characters in a world that isn't as real as we think. Vanishing deer. A highway near a dark forest became the scene of a strange moment caught on a car's dash cam. A deer ran across the road, heading back toward the trees, when suddenly it vanished. 1 second it was in full view, the next it was gone. There was no sign of it jumping or hiding. Nothing. The disappearance left viewers stunned. Was it forced teleportation or taken by an unknown force? This sighting suggests that aliens might not only be watching humans, they could also be collecting animals from the wild for mysterious experiments, leaving no trace of their presence. Sky pillar. What if the sky above you begins to crack open? This happened to residents in Auckland, New Zealand, when they looked up at the clouds and saw a perfectly straight, glowing vertical line coming directly through the clouds, standing as still as a pillar. It wasn't moving like a rocket trail, and it wasn't flickering like lightning. It just hung there. For several minutes, the city was in shock. Some believed it was a beam of heaven light breaking through a cosmic veil, while others were convinced it was a portal used by a hidden spaceship hovering in the upper atmosphere. Which stance will you buy? Let me know. Hidden ceiling. A woman was playing with a high-powered flashlight at night when she noticed something strange. As she pointed it behind a tree, the shadows didn't fade into the darkness. They landed sharply.
I don't get it either.
How am I just seeing?
Put it back.
Circle?
Like they were hitting a wall. The light itself stopped at a certain height, hitting a flat surface floating in midair. For a moment, it seemed like the sky itself had a ceiling. For a brief moment, she glimpsed what some call the real-world firmament, showing that the stars and space above us might not be endless.
How are we seeing the shadow of the tree?
That night, the flashlight revealed a hidden truth. We may not be standing under an open sky, but inside a giant, locked container. Live disappearance. During a live TV broadcast in South Africa, something happened that viewers still cannot explain. A reporter was talking to people on the street when a woman walked behind them, and then simply vanished. She didn't turn, and boom, went off the scene. It was live, so no editing conspiracy made way to the clip. The clip spread fast, and people were shaken. Many believe she was a time traveler who stepped out through a hidden doorway that opened for only a second. Well, the scariest part was knowing she didn't belong there, and our world might not have been his real destination. Who knows how many time travelers are next to us? Frozen sheep. A farmer couldn't believe what he was seeing when he walked back to his fields. Every single sheep in the farm had stopped moving, completely frozen in place, as if time itself had paused around them. For a moment, It felt like an invisible force had taken control, or like the animals were trapped under some strange spell. The scene looked like the whole farm was holding its breath, and whatever caused it didn't feel natural at all. Area orbs. A driver's dash camera captured something unbelievable near Area 51. It was raining, the road was empty, and everything looked normal. Then, out of nowhere, 4 bright orbs appeared and passed straight across the truck. The clip went viral, but authorities quickly labeled it as a camera glitch or just reflections from headlights. Because this happened so close to Area 51, many people connected it to secret activity and even suggested it might be UFOs. People started worrying about security, yet no real explanation was ever given. Then, without warning, the video disappeared from the internet, almost like someone didn't want anyone to see it again. Blue beam. A beachgoer recently spotted a strange sight stretching across the sky. Unlike a normal rainbow, this one was a single, solid beam of deep blue light, running from one horizon to the other. It stayed perfectly straight, untouched by wind or shifting clouds, almost like someone had drawn it with a giant highlighter. The beachgoer stood surprised, unable to look away. To him, it was Heaven Bridge, a hidden structural beam revealed when the sky's projection failed. While beachgoers were quick enough to call it alien signal, a high-energy scan pinging the Earth from deep space, due to several UFO sightings earlier. After coming off this claim, the beam's precision and unnatural color made it feel as if a giant laser were scanning the ocean below. Sky triangle. In Saudi Arabia, a local man pointed his camera toward the sky and captured a shocking sight that left everyone stunned. Among the clouds, there was a massive triangular gap, perfectly shaped, sharp at the edges, almost like it had been carved out on purpose. Many believed a triangular UFO might have passed through the sky, leaving the strange formation behind, almost like a silent signature. That shape, it didn't stay long, but it left a lot of people uneasy. Phantom dog. A man was filming a late-night race between 2 fast-moving cars on a highway in Mexico when something strange happened. The engines were loud, and the road seemed empty as the cars pushed forward. Out of nowhere, a dog appeared in the middle of the road. It had not been there a moment earlier. The footage showed no blur or camera error, making the moment hard to explain. The sudden appearance left everyone questioning if the road was hiding something unseen right beneath reality. Second sun. The residents of Japan looked up on August 4th, 2024, and their reality was shattered. 2 suns were hanging in the sky. For a moment, people thought the world was ending, but the truth was even stranger. The second sun wasn't a star. It was perfectly round, glowing softly, and sitting close to the real sun, almost like a copy placed beside it. Many believe this was proof of a man-made sun, created using advanced light-bending technology. And now, a disturbing thought remains. If scientists can place another sun in the sky, and now we do not know if the sun we see every day is even real or some lab-created anomaly. Uncut lemon. A security camera in a quiet restaurant captured a moment that defied logic. A kitchen worker picked up a lemon to slice for an order. She pressed her knife down with deliberate force, but when she looked, the lemon had no slice in it. For a brief moment, it seemed the lemon had entered a non-destructive object glitch, locked in its original state. The lady confused, realizing that for a split second, reality itself hadn't responded to her actions. Some objects, it seems, cannot be broken. Frozen bird. A video from Colombia has been making rounds on social media, showing a bird seemingly frozen in midair. Many viewers immediately called it a glitch in the Matrix. The footage shows the bird hovering unnaturally, drawing curious onlookers. But the truth turned out to be far less mysterious. The bird wasn't defying physics. It was a heron caught in a cable. Firefighters later rescued it, proving that even the strangest sightings often have an ordinary explanation. Sky pillars.
Lihat langitnya. Keren banget.
The footage appeared in 2019, and it stunned everyone who watched it. Above a quiet landscape, two bright pillars of light hung beneath the clouds. The sky looked calm, yet the beams glowed with an unreal brightness, as if the air itself had opened. People who saw it were reminded of ancient scripture, the heavens parting, light pouring down, the world holding still. Then reports began spreading from other places, showing the same strange pillars in the sky. To many, it felt like a sign, a silent message from above, almost biblical. And once you see it, it refuses to leave your mind. Moon crack. Fishermen off the coast of Majorca, Spain, captured a sight no one could explain. During the supermoon, a dark line appeared across the glowing moon, as if it was hooked to something invisible that started fading and vanished seconds later. This wasn't a lens glitch, and it wasn't a satellite shadow. It looked more like the moon was in use that night. We all have heard about extraterrestrial bases on the moon. NASA has also claimed that the moon is often visited by unknown forces. So, it is possible that a UFO landed and then left. Perhaps the moon is part of something far bigger than just a celestial body. Fish standoff. Visitors at a museum aquarium froze when they noticed something unusual. Every fish in the tank had gathered on one side, packed together, not moving at all. On the opposite end, a single fish stood alone, still, silent, and facing them. It looked like a stare down, as if the entire tank was waiting for a signal only they could understand. The room went quiet as people realized they weren't watching normal fish behavior anymore. They were watching something that felt planned, and whatever was happening, it left everyone uneasy. Rising ground. A man was quietly standing on a grassy field when the ground near him suddenly started to rise. The grass lifted and pushed upward, almost like a giant creature was about to crawl out from under the earth. For a moment, it really looked alive, and the video cut right there, making it feel even scarier. Later, experts said it wasn't paranormal at all. It was likely gas or water trapped under the soil, building pressure and forcing the ground to puff up. What looked like a monster breaking free turned out to be the land itself, shifting in a strange and eerie way. Phantom light. A painter was proudly showing off his latest masterpiece when something strange caught his eye. A bright glare reflected off the canvas. He looked around the room, but the light bulb was clearly off. Puzzled, he turned the painting over. Nothing. No light hit the back of the frame, yet the reflection remained, glowing perfectly on the front. It was as if the painting was showing a light that no longer existed, a glitch in reality. Some say it acted like a time window, showing the room as it looked moments ago. Others suggest a parallel dimension's light somehow bled onto the canvas. Either way, the painter stood frozen, watching a phantom glow that shouldn't have been there. Floating gloss. Posted last year on Twitter, this clip instantly grabbed attention, especially from people who love lip gloss. In the video, a girl shows her gloss tube to the camera, but then something unbelievable happens. Tiny gloss particles begin drifting upward, floating in the air, and slowly vanishing, as if an invisible magnet was pulling them away. Some viewers believe she was standing inside a high-frequency energy field that caused the liquid to lose its surface tension and dematerialize, while a few of them thought it was a reality leak, where a parallel dimension overlaps ours and pulls small objects through. Whatever it was, that gloss didn't behave like anything from our world. And honestly, if anyone owns gloss like this, let us know in the comments. Phasing chair. During a wrestling match, one excited audience member was recording the action when the camera caught something impossible. Instead of the wrestlers, the lens focused on a metal chair sliding toward a solid table, and then it happened. The chair passed straight through the table. No crash, no sound of metal hitting metal, and the table didn't even shake. It didn't go under or over the surface. It moved directly through. as if the two objects were made of smoke. Was it a collision detection error, where the laws of the world briefly forgot that two solids cannot occupy the same space? Or a Matrix-in glitch, where the chair temporarily lost its density while the table stayed solid? The final answer is all yours. Drone swarm. A man was walking through the quiet countryside when he looked up and saw thousands of swarms in the sky. At first, he thought it might be a storm warning, but the formation of the swarm didn't match any natural pattern. It moved with precise coordination, almost as if guided by alien technology. The reality was even more shocking. He was witnessing a secret test of China's new multiplying drone system. These machines are designed to split apart mid-flight, turning a single drone into a massive, intelligent swarm instantly. What appeared to be visitors from another world was actually a breakthrough in human engineering, proof that sometimes the invaders in the sky are ours.